Good morning, everybody. It's Valerie Ling here, clinical psychologist, coming to you live from my bedroom. We get to do these live videos across all kinds of different scenarios and scenes, but I've been spending a lot of time here in my room. This is a piece of art that hangs right on top of where I'm sitting. It's pretty extraordinary. I quite like it. And I thought that I would come on live to particularly speak to, I think, a great number of you who actually follow me on this page have got responsibilities that put you in either some kind of solo business, or you are basically heading a team or a group where a lot of the responsibility falls on you. And I wanted to share a really authentic snapshot of what I'm feeling today, just to connect with how you might feel at times, or maybe even feeling now. So I have yesterday spent the day hobbling along with my crutches because of my ankle. I left the house at 8:30. I was committed to present at a conference. And of course, before any of this happened with me, with my ankle and things like that, I thought, oh, I've got 2 slots to present. I'm just going to create 2 completely new and 2 completely different seminars. I thought that it would be an opportunity to push my content, because I'm now focusing very much on burnout, not just for at the personal level, but how it's propagated and how we can prevent it at a systemic level. So in work settings, in organizations. And so I found myself committed to this conference to present 2 completely different seminars, and I was hobbling along. My husband actually drove me, which was a real blessing for me, because the conference was an hour and a half away from where I live. And honestly, the thought of having my foot sort of crunched up and driving for 3-4 hours for the day was not very appealing. And so we left the house at 8:30 in the morning, and we didn't get home till 8:30 in the evening. And I can tell you that this morning I am feeling spent, absolutely spent. It doesn't happen all the time for me that I feel like I'm scratching the bottom of a tank. Uh, and I don't mean that I am burnt out, but I know that my tank is actually 100% probably on empty. And one of my key resources to fill up that tank, exercise, actually has been taken away from me. So in this last 2 weeks, actually been quite stationary. I have been left in my own mind. And boy, the things that I have discovered there. And this morning, I actually recognized that for the past 2 weeks, I have actually woken up in the morning with a type of thinking that is often very hard for me to explain to clients when I'm trying to explain it. But it's a kind of a negative cognitive attribution that we can use that can really impact the way that we feel. And it's called emotional reasoning. So, emotional reasoning is a kind of thinking where, based on your emotional state of what you're feeling, regardless of what's going on around us, we start to interpret events and things according to the way that we feel. So, for example, this morning I actually feel empty physically empty, and I think therefore it's actually making me feel emotionally empty as well. And the morning started with my husband actually looking at me and saying, "What is wrong?" He obviously read something in my expression. And of course, what was going through my head was a whole bunch of really discouraging and despondent thoughts about my work, about did I connect enough yesterday with the people that I was with? Um, do I actually really know what I'm talking about? Is there really any value? Oh, here we go. Is there actually any value in continuing to do this? I'm exhausted. I'm depleted. The work is too hard. Maybe it's enough. Maybe it's time to let go. Maybe it's time to stop. And then we're spiraling down now to some very concrete thoughts, even about my day today. I've got to go in and get my x-ray results, my ultrasound results, and in a matter of hours, I'm going to actually find out whether, I told my kids today as they left me, you'll either come home seeing me without crutches or you'll see me in a boot, because that means something is broken. And spiraling down into that everyday thoughts then of thinking, and if I'm in a boot, who's going to be there? Will anybody actually really care? Will people actually respond to me, etc., etc., etc.? Right? I can keep telling you all the things that are going on. Good morning, Christy. Thank you very much. So emotional reasoning is not something that's easy to capture, and basically it's you respond to your environment and the things that are around you based on how you're actually feeling. Being able to identify it is really important. And so having labeled that and identified that that is my emotional reasoning, I've actually reorganized my day, right? Because what I was actually going to do based on my emotional reasoning, I was actually procrastinating going to get those results. And I was actually sitting here trying to think of all the different ways that I was going to fall in the car park. Of course, I'm not going to fall, etc., etc., etc. Because I was actually trying to rush my morning to meet, to make another appointment that I have with one of the psychologists whom I work with at 10 o'clock, thinking that, you know, if I were to change it, it would muck up the rest of the day, etc. But I got into my bedroom, and if you saw my post, I've been gazing at my cherry tree blossom tree. And the wonderful thing about this cherry tree is that we don't take care very much of it. We don't really do a lot with this tree, but regardless, for most of the year, it looks barren and it looks withered. However, come spring, this tree blossoms. Incredible. Let me see if I'll reverse the camera. Just don't look at my messy wardrobe, but I'll reverse the camera and show you. There you go. That's my bedroom window. Look at that tree. It's incredible. And I was just reminded, just sitting here for a moment, that there's a season for everything, in season and out of season. I have a deep spiritual belief, and I know for me, the world, the tree, it's taken care of by a power that is higher than me. And it really just brought me back to a sense of gravity that, you know, what I'm actually feeling right now, I'm depleted because I gave my all in service yesterday. I ran 2 burnout seminars where the second one I just didn't prepare for. It was, I prepared, but I didn't really prepare for. And the reason for that was when it comes to trying to figure out organizational responses and solutions to burnout, we need one another. And I just sat on the stage, wrapped ankle and all, and just said, I need to hear from you. Ask me anything, any question for 90 minutes. Whatever you want to ask me. And let's figure this stuff out together. And because I gave so much of myself in that session, you know, because it's a risky business. What if people ask you questions that you don't know? And they did. And it required me to actually really share my story and to think on my feet. And that is the reason for why I'm feeling absolutely depleted this morning. Made the change. I reached out to the psychologist in my team, and she was very gracious, and we've actually scheduled something for much later in the afternoon, which gives me a whole buffer of morning to actually just recover and get myself into a mental state that is positive and optimistic again. So I just wanted to share with you, because sometimes you might actually think that all of this mindset stuff just happens automatically, or I'm constantly just bubbly and joyous, but it's not. It does take a little bit of thinking, a little bit of labeling, a little bit of distancing ourselves from our thoughts and experiences, and recognizing and congratulating and being grateful as well for that experience yesterday. So I just wanted to share that with you. I will finish this video again with my beautiful cherry tree blossom. Look at that, amazing. We have another one in the front. Perhaps later I'll take a picture for you. Have a lovely morning, everybody. Bye.